If you go over here to home and switch on Darknet signals, it'll drop you into this page. This page here looks at the Darknet stocks that we're searching and shows you if there are any signals today in the Darknet universe that are bullish signals, or if there's any signals that are stop signals for this particular day. And you see there's not that many, but we can say, you know, well, what about the last week? How are things been going? So we're going to put in 7 days over here, try it again. And there was a lot of action during the week, all over the place. Notice over here in the stop signals, there's a lot of green and then a little bit of yellow. You look, that's about 70%. And day in, day out, this is the backtest performance of Darknet. About 70% of the Darknet trades are profitable. And that just keeps happening and happening. Even when we keep the bearish symbols in there that I'll discuss in just a second. These are the symbols that Darknet in the last 7 days had a signal on. In this particular case, the green is and the yellow and the red are what happened from the close price from yesterday to today. It has nothing to do with what happened in Darknet, but this is different. This is actually what happened in Darknet. So for example, this one here, if you click on it, that's the one amongst the guys that had the best Darknet performance, where it was bullish over here and it was bearish over here and got out. Darknet is built to be a 30-day trader. It wants to get into a trade and get out of a trade in 30 days. Also, you see on this chart, there's a bullish symbol here, and then there's another symbol, and it's called R. You could think of it as re-bullish. If you play poker, you could think of it as rebuy. What happens there is while we were developing this thing, we discovered that sometimes you pick up a bullish signal, and then I end up keep looking for either a stop signal or a bearish, another bullish signal. And a lot of times you'll find another bullish signal, and then you get a stop signal. Or sometimes that you never get that second one, and it happens right away. Here's some of the other ones in the more recent data. That was a nice one there. Ucore picked up a nice one here, picked up another nice one here. This little sideways motion caused the stop signal to trigger, which is unfortunate because the darn thing keeps going up. This is Goldman Sachs. Another nice ride. Now, the stuff that didn't ride so well. Here's PSQ. We don't advise trading. There's a bunch of these short symbols inside the global Darknet list, such as PSQ. And whenever you see these guys show up, it's kind of informational. So if PSQ has a stop symbol, that's actually in the real world a bullish symbol, because it's decided to get out of the QQQ short, which makes sense because the Nasdaq has just recently decided to take off again. So this bounce over here was when the Nasdaq kind of went under a little bit, and then now the Nasdaq decided it might be back. So we get a bearish signal in the short. If you say to yourself, you know, I don't want to see any of these short signals, you come over here and switch to somebody else down here that doesn't have them, like the penny plus weekly stock search symbol list. Here's these guys, and here's some bullish signals, and there's some nice ones here. There's something in Netflix right over here that just recently happened. Something in eBay. eBay's been doing pretty good with Darknet. Something in Amazon. Amazon has been, all of these were nice signals, and we got another bullish one over here. These are in the penny plus weekly symbols. You can get into those pretty easily, and there's always an expiration date within the time frame you want to look at in the penny plus weekly symbols list. So let's say you want to do some backtest analysis. The website has backtest capability. I want to show you backtest capability for the Darknet symbols. The one that's the fastest and easiest to use is stocks. We have 3 of them. You can look at the call options, the stock options, I mean, the stock symbols themselves, or put credit spreads. I'm going to start with the stocks because they run the fastest. Let's constrain ourselves to the S&P 500 list. Let's look at the whole list. And over the last 365 days, how did Darknet do? You click on search. And all the signals are saved in database. So and with the stock symbols, it runs pretty fast. And this is the performance right in here. About 70% of each individual trade worked. And about 83% of each stock worked. You can look over here, and here's all the guys that were winners. And as you come on down here, eventually, you get something not 100%. It looks like we get to 75 here. So the first 218 guys did really well. Well, I'm going to talk with you something called cherry lists. Let's take those. We don't necessarily, we want to trade in Darknet stocks that have historically done well. We hopefully expect that pattern to continue, and they will continue to trade well some more. So we will, instead of looking at the entire S&P 500, we'll constrain ourselves to the one that have historically done well, and we'll call that our cherry Darknet list. Place that. And if we decide, let's just look at that list now, and that's saved right here. How did that list do? And almost 100% of these trades did well, and were very good per trade. So if ever we see a trade of any one of these guys in the future, we'll probably want to consider getting into it. Now, what about options trading? Of the two, the spreads is the one that does much better than the calls. So I'm going to look at the cherry Darknet spread trading, and let's see how the spread trading worked. So it looked at all the past 1 year, and 87% of the spread trades worked well. What's the big difference between the using options trading Darknet and stocks is the rate of return and the reward to risk ratio. You get much bigger numbers and of course less risk trading the spreads than trading the regular stocks, trading Darknet. One interesting thing I want to show you about this is you can constrain this search to look at only some of the Darknet trades. So remember, this was 87% trading all the signals. I could say, you know what? Let's only trade the rebuy signals, just the R signals. And just trading the R signals, almost every stock worked on the R signals. So that's another piece of information you can use. You could make yourself a list of stocks that have historically done well and decide to only trade those that show up in the R with an R. And if you'd have done that in the last year, you literally couldn't have gone wrong. Now, is that what's going to happen now from this point forward? I have no idea, although the economy does look like it's about ready to take off. I think there's a lot of pent-up demand. I certainly have a lot of pent-up demand to go take more cruises. So I think there's going to be a lot of money that got saved that's going to need to get spent, and the economy could do well, especially in more traditional stocks as opposed to the internet stocks, but that all remains to be seen.
John, we have a couple of questions on Darknet. So before we get to the regular Q&A, I'd like to stop and address some of these.
Sure.
Is Darknet your name/term for channel-based trades? or is this connected with web sentiment analysis?
Okay, let me show you exactly where
Is it
it's a
like, is it like looking at a Reddit boards, et cetera, that kind of stuff?
no, it has nothing to do with sentiment analysis at all. It's a purely technical trader. And I will show you the exact thing Darknet looks at to decide to go bullish or bearish. Let's find something that has a bullish or bearish signal. And it looks like, let me take a look at this fellow. I want something very obvious. All right. Let's look at a buy signal. Oh, I know what's wrong. I need to turn everything on. Okay.
And is Darknet long only?
Yes. Darknet is long only. I was never able to find a bearish version of the signal I'm about to show you, despite looking quite a long time. All right, let's see if I can figure out what this date is right here. It's looks like February. There's a 24th, 3rd, 22nd, 1st, February 20th, thereabouts on all states. Okay, just give me a second here. I haven't shown you all the chart tool. The chart tool has a lot of capability. You can pick any of these charts to chart, and I'm going to pick the Darknet signal. If you pick on stock, you can overlay stuff here, and you can overlay even more stuff here, and you can throw in some Fibonacci's and some peaks, and you can throw in some moving averages that I'm going to turn off. But let's look at the Darknet signals in Allstate. So there's one over here. I'm thinking February 26th, February 19th. Nope, 2 more days. 17. There. Okay, so there's a buy signal on this date. How did it get there? What I was looking at is what's called the channel test. Let me just show you the channel test with the large parameters. So the channel test between starting at 40 days, I mean, from a long day of 150 to a short day of 40, it finds the best up channel, the best sideways channel, and then the best down channel inside that search stream to find the 3 channels that are in those 3 categories. Darknet was this short channel test. And what you see here is that the down channel, the sideways channel, and the up channel all appear inside each other. And when that all happens, when all 3 channels line up and appear inside each other, that activates a Darknet signal. When all 3 channels are inside each other on the positive side, that's what activates the positive Darknet signal. And switching back over here to Darknet. In the Darknet terminology, so once Darknet finds a buy signal, it starts looking for either a rebuy signal or a sell signal. And once the sell signal gets tripped, it doesn't necessarily sell, but it starts putting out these dots. And what the dots are saying, hey, I have found the possibility of a sell signal, but I'm going to wait for the stock to actually stop moving up before I actually issue the sell signal, and we're going to follow it with dots. So we're guaranteed at this point that the very next signal will in the future be a sell signal, but it hasn't happened yet in Allstate, and Allstate just keeps climbing. So this trade's going to do really, really well. If I come over here, maybe let's just try today. Oh, it's stuck in the past. There. That's what a sell signal looks like. The up channel, the down channel, and the sideways channel are all inside each other. And that triggers the Darknet sell signal. And that's all that Darknet is. It's based on this, this channel technology.
So a couple of questions on the nomenclature. You just had on this chart a blue D along with the byte. And what's the blue D? It's
Okay.
gone. It was there on the last screen, I think.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we got it. I got to get off of channels. Let's go back to stock. Let me turn on Fibonacci so y'all get to take a look at that.
And
so the blue D is the last time there was a dividend. The triangle E was the last time there was an earnings. All this got turned on.
And also on your couple of screen. Go ahead.
1 second. I want to show this stuff at the bottom here. And all of the past historical dividend data and earnings data, as well as how the earnings behaved, plus or minus the close and plus or minus the IV, is all sitting down here for all the data that we have online. Some of this data goes back to when I brought the website online in the 2012 time period.
What were the A-bull, B-bull, R-bull? You had, that was a few screens back.
Yeah, let's see if we can find some over here, and I can bring them into here's what I'm going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Let me show you this feature here. I'm going to go to Darknet signals. I'm going to type in 7 days. I'm going to do a search, and I'm going to save the signals into my stock list. See, it says add replace stocks to my stock list, which I just did. I'm now going to, if you click on save trades, which I just did, if you have any signals in the trades that you've saved inside the folder over here, and I happen to have ERX, if there's a signal, it'll show it to you right here with the B. If there's some dots on the signal, it'll show you with a T or an S, and that's what's going on right here. So we're now going to go to chart, and I'm going to go over here to my stock list. I wonder if this works. Yeah, so I've loaded up all the latest symbols, guys with symbols here in my stock list, and I've switched the list over here to the list guy, and now I can just click on that, and let's see if we can find something that has these other symbols in it. There. So there's the B symbol, and then it sold. And so it's looking for another B symbol, and it found it here. The R symbol happens, it's after the B symbol, it's looking for the same exact conditions that created this B symbol. Are they happening again on the downside, or are they happening on the upside? And it found another downside version here. So that's the R signal. And as I showed you, the R signal is the one that trades very well, and then it sold, and then we just recently got another buy signal over there.
How's the performance of Darknet in a downed market?
Well, since you're trading options, well, the 1 year that we just did through, we had a really bad down market in March. during the time period I was looking at, we can extend it over, and you can trade Darknet over that time period. See how it does. But because you're trading options, you're going to lose whatever was just those options prices. And then once the market starts off again, Darknet jumps right in there and starts giving you signals right away.
So it won't save you from the crash, but it'll get you in on the rally.
It got you in on this particular rally that happened here. Darknet was just doing no wrong once the crash had gone by. Crashes in the stock world happen like overnight, just take a couple of days, as you all may have noticed. And there's a lot of, other than the big crashes, all that's left is a lot of these up and downs. And Darknet can feed on these up and downs like this pretty regularly.
Were there many false positives during the pandemic crash?
A false positive.
Yeah, did you get a signal that in spite of the market going down, did it actually turn out some bullish signals?
We'd have to go look. I can't answer that one without going look.
Okay. And Paul was wanting to know if it also identified the few gainers during the crash.
The gainers?
Yeah. Geez, Paul, I don't remember anything that made money during the crash.
No, there wasn't much that made money during the crash. No. So during the crash, if you were in some darkness, you probably lost those, but you had to keep at it. And because Darknet only trades 30 days or so. So shortly after the crash was over, I could go to the crash right now and we could look around if y'all want to. Want to give that a try? This is going to be new stuff here. So when did
right here? This is the question that David had right over here in the upper left, where you have check boxes. The B bull, R bull, A bull. What are those?
Tell them what the A means that you haven't talked about.
Yeah. So the B bull is when you let me put this
B in. Stands for buy, right?
Yeah. We don't say buy. We say bullish.
Okay.
We don't say buy. We say bullish. And the R stands for we don't say rebuy. We say rebullish. And the S doesn't stand for sell. It stands for stop. And the A means that two things. One, things are not going well. But if you're willing to try one more time, this is the strongest bullish signal the thing puts out. And it only will put it out after there's a B and an R signal that has happened. So the A is like our last chance to try to pull some profits out of what we're doing and perhaps restore ourselves. There were a lot of A's that happened during the market crash.